All right, so day 3 here in Phoenix for Residency 2 at GCU. Today we spent time tightening up Chapter 1 and getting those things locked in, trying to get all the steps to get our research approved. And then we ended up getting a briefing from the IRB today, which is the let me read it right. It's the Institutional Review Board. It's like a nationally accredited thing where they approve all the ethical things that may be in the process for your research. So I'm gonna start from the beginning so that way I can go through my synopsis the right way. So this morning I got up and I was able to get a good run. 5K a day keeps the doctor away. So I got a good 3-mile run in, 3.1. And I'm still gonna go to the gym tonight once I finish this vlog, but I wanted to get this out before I changed and while it's still fresh in my mind. So this morning I got in a good run and I went and had breakfast. I'm not a big breakfast person anyway. Normally at home I would just have a protein shake, maybe some fruit, and then not eat anything for real until lunch. But today I got some of the egg scramble, egg bake that they had, not scramble, egg bake, a couple pieces of bacon, and then some fruit. I kept it kind of light because I don't want anything heavy on my stomach. And they feed you so much at residency. If you're a GCU student or doctoral student and you're waiting for your residency, you're going to eat like 5 meals a day. So the way meal options work is that you get breakfast in the morning, and then they give you a snack 10:30, 10:45, between 10:30 and 11. And then you get lunch at 12. And then you get a snack again at like 2:30 to 3, somewhere in there. And then you get dinner again at 5. Well, between 5 to, I think you can go down there as late as 7 and still get to eat dinner at the buffet. But lunch was pretty good today. It was a baked potato bar. So they had the baked potato, all the fixings that you could want, sour cream, chives, bacon bits, cheese, anything you can want to put on a baked potato, as well as grilled chicken and salad. And I think they had something else. I don't remember what other meat because I got the chicken. And then, which was pretty good. I didn't know I wanted the baked potato, but once I saw that and I was able to actually get it and build my baked potato how I want it was actually really good. And so I ended up enjoying that lunch. I ate more today than I normally did. And it had some kind of soup. I did have some chicken and rice soup, but like I only had a little bit of that so I could taste it. But it ended up being really good with the celery and things like that, which is a good thing, you know. I would have been a good peasant back in the day. You know how they say a little bit of bread and soup, you'd be good. I didn't have any bread with it, but the soup was actually good. So then after that, like I said, then dinner, we'll talk about the meal since I'm already on that portion. Dinner was Italian food. I'm not the biggest Italian fan, blasphemy or whatever, but I ate more than my fair share of spaghetti growing up and things like that. So when I see pasta and red sauce, at my old age, all I think about now is heartburn. So they had Alfredo sauce, thankfully. So I got some spaghetti noodles, grilled chicken. They had meatballs, beef meatballs. Pause. But with all that stuff. And they had tiramisu for dessert, which is really good. It was a small square. I ate like half of it. But dinner was pretty good. What I was able to put together from that. And then they had caprese, which is like the buffalo cheese, tomatoes, and the basil with the balsamic vinaigrette on it, which is really good. So that's always good to eat something like that that's fresh. It's not too good, you know, not too bad for you. So dinner was actually good. I can't complain. So the rest of today. So starting from the beginning, this morning we went in and we went over, I said chapter 1. Everybody had to send at least a draft of what you had for chapter 1 to the professor. I gave her my draft of chapter 1 yesterday because I was already done with it. And she went through it and gave me some positive feedback. A couple of problems I had to tweak and whatnot, but we're on the right track, guys. I did realize, though, after looking at the other dissertations, that I need to add more references to back up, you know, my reason for research and then the gap in research. But I'm still tweaking that. I have until next Wednesday in order to finish that, but not a lot of feedback from her as far as that portion. She just said to beef up certain areas and whatnot, and then to change where I had put my problem statement, but actually defining what I feel the problem is and how I want to get there. So that portion was pretty good. Then we had lunch. After lunch, the IRB came, like I said, the Institutional Review Board. They came and they gave us a talk or whatever. The lady was pretty nice. She briefed us all the ins and outs, and after that, we got to do a quick question and answer. One of my questions was talking about whenever I do recruitment, right? I had to recruit people to participate in my research. And the recruitment process is pretty difficult because everything that you do, how you communicate with the test subject, with the sample audience, you know, with the population, how you communicate with them, how you record things, how you analyze the data, all of those things have to be approved before you can even start your research. So the IRB process is a tedious one. Luckily, again, they have a checklist. So when people say they get stuck on their doctorate and they don't know, I don't know how people take 7 years to do their doctorate. I know that some research or some dissertations take longer based off the methodology and whatnot. But even for me, doing a qualitative narrative or qualitative descriptive study, I switched from narrative to descriptive. Doing qualitative descriptive, I don't see how it's going to take me more than the next year to finish. I'm going to do everything within my power to make sure that I can graduate this time next year. I'm going to say that every video. Graduate February 2027. I will be Dr. Loach. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Everything within my power to finish, I will be, next year. So I just got to stay on it. You guys keep me motivated. Hold me accountable. If you see this video later on, write a comment so that way I can come back and know that you're holding me accountable to do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to be Dr. Deloach this time next year. But the IRB process is a process basically to help us stay within the ethical guidelines of making sure that we do our research right. So back in the day, before they had the IRB in the 60s or something like that, they decided to establish the IRB because people were doing experiments and doing research and doing things that weren't necessarily ethically bound, getting their questions and answers through, shady business. And so in order to keep us positive, if you don't do your research or get it approved through the IRB before, you can't even use your research and publish it later. So you have to make sure you go through that process to get everything blessed off on before you get to that research portion so that you can use it in your dissertation. Or again, like I said, your college will not allow you to do it. Allow you to research or to utilize that data if you got it through means that weren't already previously approved. So the data collection portion is pretty intense. We learn all about how and what is required for the data collection and what we need to do in order to be able to get to that portion. I've already formulated most of it. So the legwork as far as like the bones of my dissertation are already completed. So once I get this done, I get chapters 2 and 3 done, which is my lit review. And then, what goes into that portion in chapter 3, I will be able to actually start conducting my research and do my study. That will take me time because I plan to interview 15 to 20 people. And then doing those interviews, they had to all be an hour long. And then I have to record them and transcribe all of them and then pull the data out of those transcriptions in order to be able to, fulfill my dissertation, and get the answer that I'm looking for and fill that gap in the research that I'm trying to process through my research in my dissertation. But we're going to get there. It's not impossible. Just because something hard doesn't mean that it's impossible. So understanding that and understanding where I am and where I want to be is the most important thing because I know that I can accomplish whatever I put my mind to. So doing that will help me get to where I need to be. Just taking that time and doing it the right way. Just going through all the steps, following the checklist. It's already laid out for you. If you're wondering, can you do a doctoral process? It's more about resiliency than anything. And I think it's funny that my professor that I have now actually wrote her dissertation on the doctoral process and how to get people to it, right? So they say it across America, 40% of people that start their doctorate, between 40 and 60%, depending on which review you look at, between 40 and 60% of people who start the doctoral process don't complete it. And it is a matter of resiliency. Are you willing to go through and do the things that you said you wanted to do and get those goals accomplished, right? If you do it the right way and you accomplish those things, then you'll eventually be doctor, right? You're part of that 2% of Americans that have a doctoral degree, that portion there. But so many people don't have the ability, whether it's life gets in the way, their own mind gets in the way, they run into problems with their research, whether they don't get their things approved in time, which is tough because the IRB lady told us that once we submit our IRB for approval, they have 10 days, right? Even if there's corrections or 10 days to give it back to us. If they have any corrections, we get it back, however long it takes you to fix those corrections and resubmit it. They have 10 more days from that portion to send you if it has more corrections and whatnot. So I can see how it can be a tedious process if you're not meticulous in the way, in your approach to being able to accomplish it and to fill out those things. But at the end of the day, it is all your pace and how fast you want to do it, in the sense that you put it together, you do it, you do the work, you can accomplish it, but you have to be resilient and be able to do it. Being able to bounce back, from adversity. You do some work and your chair or your methodologist tells you that, you're not sticking within your method, your theory, and doing your things the right way. Taking that constructive criticism and fixing it is a big part of that whole resiliency piece that I'm talking about. You have to be able to take that, fix what they said, and then move on. Do you want to be a doctor fast, or do you want to be a doctor your way? You don't get to do both. You get to do it the way they tell you to do it, or you get to do it fast, or you get to do it your way, and then maybe you never get to become a doctor. So many people have been able, be doctoral candidates where you finish the core classes, and then that research gets you hung up. Your dissertation is never completed. So publishing that dissertation is the goal, and I'm going to make that goal happen for myself, day by day, brick by brick. So I'm not going to hold you guys. We're already at about 10 minutes, I think. So every step of this journey adds another layer to the process, and I'm excited about each layer. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It happens one piece at a time. I'm going to say that once again. Progress doesn't happen overnight. It happens one piece at a time. Staying consistent, staying resilient, and getting after what you said you want to do. Hey, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe down below. Let's keep each other motivated. If you have any questions, down in the comments. Hey, every single day, do something to make yourself better. Let's get to greatness, guys. Peace.